there's a such thing as like natural flow of things. Let's say the river flows at a certain rate. Humans could intervene and maybe change the rate, or let's say build a dam and then change the natural flow, how nature behaves. And I almost feel like it's a similar intervention that humans are doing with technology to interact with the natural flow of evolution. Let's say humans without tools have a certain rate at evolving, and then with tools, we tend to speed up the evolution. With something like YouTuneIn App, you're helping people to, in a way, speed up their process of evolution.
It's not about speeding up.
Okay.
Yeah. Speed up, I don't think is the clarification of it. It's the opportunity. It's not the speeding. You know, evolution is inevitable.
Right.
Or destruction. I'm kidding. But
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Self-destruction.
Right.
But there is so much still to learn about sound and frequencies. We are in a very good path right now of discovering a lot. And same way that you eat food, you drink water, and you breathe air. Even your skin is feeding, you know, from this air and the sun, light, and everything. So is sound. So is how you absorb sound. And you are this sound. You are this vibration. Depending on the frequency that you use, you can help the brain to improve and give opportunities for new connections, new neural connections, where you're able to operate in a different way with your brain and not in the robotic way that your body already learned how to express. And imagine that is a professor, vibrational professor, where it's challenging that neuron all the time. It's challenging and teaching the new ways of processing your HD, right? And therefore, your entire body start responding to those new ways. And so, yes, it can be very healing. It can be very transforming. Your cells will rejuvenate, right? You'll become younger. And also your anxiety, depression, and things like that will be shifted to a balanced state, right? It's like a depressed person. The body is sending, imagine that the body does not understand emotions as good or bad.
Yeah.
It just understands as emotion, right? And a depressed person, it's always in that state, always in that state, always in that state. So the body learned that that is their state to be.
Right.
So whenever you get happy, the body goes, this is not the state that I used to be.
Right.
So I don't think this is correct. So it's very hard to force a person to be happy, and to build that momentum of happiness all the time. So imagine that sound can introduce that little by little, that frequency, little by little. Every day you use a little bit of frequency. So your brain start getting used to it, start to really understand that sensation and producing better chemicals, releasing those chemicals into your body. So yeah, that's a healing process. But yes, I can say that it's a very good tool united with technology that can help humanity to evolve.
Oh, yeah.
But I wouldn't say speed up.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's not speeding up because that's part of the natural flow of how it evolves. It's not like you are an outside force that's not part of this and is trying to intervene. You are itself trying to evolve, not trying to just evolving. That's
Let's
way of evolving.
just, it's a good way, but let's just think hypothetically.
Yeah.
Earth gives us everything we need, right? From air, ground, house, cars, clothes, food, water, meds, everything. And if there is a virus, a bacteria, and like we can find in nature the healing, the cure.
Mm-hmm.
So Earth literally provides, is a system where it's providing absolutely everything we need. And if you think that we are also a system, we are also an energetic system, we also will have ideas and creativity, absorbing, downloading those to provide to our ecosystem.
Yep.
So yes, I think it would be inevitable to bring up a tool like this, as so many others ideas, evolutionary ideas will be out there also to provide evolution to our system.
Where did those ideas come from?
The infinite intelligence, I would say.
Okay.
I don't like to put labels on it because it's very personal. And as you've been to my retreat, and the first thing I like saying is like, I'm no better than anybody, right? And I'm not here to tell people answers. I have no answers. I have questions. And I can help you to find the better questions. But the answers are yours. It's very personal. And the truth, it's only yours. What you determine that is true. And what I can share is just my life experience and what I think of now, but also I can think differently tomorrow, right? And based and everything that I'm feeling, everything that I'm sensing, downloading, or right, and also what feels true to me, but doesn't necessarily need to be true to you.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, and at the same, yes, I agree with what you said. Though someone's answers could still be useful, it could still be something that you seek to receive or to encounter. Yes, everyone have their own versions or their own answers and their own perspectives on how it manifests in their life. It is useful to tap into other people's perspectives and their own answers to maybe see how you feel around those answers. That because sometimes you might not be aware that you have those answers, but once you hear someone else's answers, like, oh, this resonates. This is, I think this is true for me also.
Yes, correct. And also, we are, I say for myself, of course, but we are used to that being right. It's better feeling of being right than feel better, or feel good. Not always necessarily being right is to feel good, right? Mm-hmm. And because of this duality, right and wrong, and the validation of being right, makes us to desire to be right, right? But that's not always good for the soul. And the good part is the variety, like the different perspectives. And if we are open to that, if we are open to those ways of seeing, we can then get a little bit of here, a little bit of there, and start evolving from different areas too, Obviously, I'm not saying in one subject specifically, right? I'm saying in general.
For sure. Yeah, that's actually the vision for this podcast, is to paint the picture of the future, and then a desirable picture of the future that the majority, if not all people, would resonate with and would like to have that version for themselves. And then bringing different guests to paint the segment of, show their perspective, their domain of expertise, their life experience, to draw the path to that version, basically share what they know that would increase our chances of manifesting that type of future.
Yeah. I think that's a beautiful intention, right? And if we can share a little bit of what is inside of our vision, our heart's vision, and people resonate with that, we can definitely encourage a lot of people to act the same, do the same.
Mhm. Is there one vision that you yourself are attracted to that's pulling you in? A particular version of the future, maybe describe your relationship with the earth, with yourself, obviously, with other people, with your family, community. Uh, what are some aspects of the future that are pulling you in, like that are very desirable for you? That's something that you would love to see more of, or something different?
Hmm, that's a nice question. You know, I have a friend that once asked me something. He said, what is wrong with the world? Sunil, you know Sunil. But no, let's not say it. But so this friend asked me, what is wrong with the world? And right away I said, the world needs love, more love. And he didn't say anything. And then I went to my journey 5 years later. He asked me again, what is wrong with the world? And I said, nothing. There's nothing wrong with the world.
I agree.
We are good. Yes, we have to evolve, and we are evolving, but it's all part of the process. And again, that is contrasts and always going to be in order to expand and evolve. I think the idea of self-destruction, and that we still have that pattern of harming each other and promoting that anger within still, like not transmuting those egos. I think that it's about to maybe hit some curve, like something will happen, right? I think the curious point is what we're going to do after that.
Mhm.
Are we going to evolve after that? So my desire is that we can continue evolving towards the heart connection. And I believe that as more we can tune in, as more each one work in your self-development, you will know, you will find that consciousness, you will tap into this unknown, which will guide you to your light, it will guide you to enlightenment, yes, per se. We have the sun pointing at us, so we always like reaching the light, right? That is a normal response to human experience. But also we have the darkness. We came from the dark, right? We came from the womb, and so then light. And so this duality, it's always going to follow us. But as long as you tap into this self-knowledge, this consciousness, and we together, my true desire is that as more people we can help, and every facilitator, tools, and people that are really working towards that, help self-development and allowing people to tap into the consciousness, then we have millions of people tuned, right, and awaken. And once we reach a certain amount of people, then I believe we can shift consciousness. And then will be different levels of contrast, however, not the heavy ones as we face today.
Do you have any idea or guess what that might look like once we shift the tipping point for humanity? What would that look like? What that future might look like? Because I would also say that is a desirable future. I'd like for you to paint it in the way you see it.
You mean tipping point of the curve, like
So you mentioned that your deep desire is to have enough people to tune in to the, and then have not the majority, but there's a term for it, like a tipping point, basically to.
Yeah, you numbers I cannot tell you, but I curiously, I received a number before, but I don't know if that is accurate. Is 13%.
Okay.
13.
Where do you think we're now as a human
being? Yeah, because it's not just about meditation, right? It's about really tapping into that higher consciousness. But yeah, if you start meditating, I'm not saying that. Yes, meditation is the tool for that. Yeah. However, yes, it's an awakening. That is that awareness that you, with the practice, like you go to the gym, you become stronger. But you don't become stronger just by going to the gym and doing 1 day exercise, 2 days exercise. It's a consistency that you need to apply into your body. So you're able to become the body you want to become. It's the same with meditation. You need to be consistent and really practice. And it's going to be a time where your consciousness will start shifting and you start having those beautiful experiences and witness the change within. So that's what I'm talking about. And that, I think, would be, as far as I understand, a 13%.
Right.
But I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. I always wonder, I also see the trend is not going to be a very gradual change. We're going to hit a particular point after which the change will just happen very rapidly. That tipping point that we're going to reach that you're talking about. Yeah. And so we will start doing something else with YouTuneIn, which is the WeTuneIn. We already started last year. And now I believe at the end of this year, we'll be ready to go. So we'll be consistently every month. We will be united in collective meditation in order to help humanity vibrationally to tune in to that shift, right? Yeah, the intention for me to really get the visions from people like yourself, the visionaries, verbalized is because I think the verbalized visions are the bridges to that place, to that state. And then the more accurately or the easier we can digest or like explain, wrap our language around that type of vision, and the more people can walk through that bridge. And that's why almost like getting people excited about it and explaining in terms that are relevant to them, that where they are today, they might not be necessarily spiritual or they don't consider themselves spiritual. Maybe they don't meditate. How do we plant the seed in them to even consider? There's a beautiful phrase, which I'm not sure if I'm going to say right, but it's more or less, you cannot force a flower to bloom, but you can change the flower's environment, right? You can provide the environment that will help that flower to bloom. So if you want experience, but you can't yet, it's just observe your environment, observe your habits, and changing those will help you to more and more tap into that desire, right? I think we all know that anxiety, depression, and the well-being is increasing more and more and more, right? And that the studies shows that up to 2030 will be a crash completely. And that is sad. But at the same time, that forces us to really do something. Yeah. And once we start moving forward that change and that solution, then it's when the gates of consciousness can open more and more because more people are searching for that tuning. I think the difficulty is
from people that don't meditate is like to really enjoy meditation, right? To really have that desire.
Yeah.
So there are out there so many tools, but they're not mentors today. Like in my time, it's like if you meditate for real, you have to go to the mountains with a monk and really learn from the monks.
Mm-hmm.
But today you have plenty of tools that can help you with that. But as a user, when I was searching for those, I could not really feel engaged. I could not. I would lose interest very easily because they are not.
User of meditation practice, or
yeah, right. When I was a learning process back then, 2009, I was one of the first users of one of the tools out there, and I was like, "Wow, this is amazing," but I'm not.
Right.
He's like, "I don't feel that it's something else. How do I go deeper?"
Yeah.
And I think that was a big problem for me. How do I go deeper? Because that is there's a line there, and I didn't know how to get in there. And that's why we decided to create YouTuneIn, to really go deeper into that connection. And it's not just about the teachings, the knowledge, and it's about the frequencies that will help you to get there, to tune into that like elevated state, for sure. But with that, what happens is you are able to create new emotional connection, and new engaging is like it's transforming experience. So you always want to go back to that, and making the habit of meditation easier, like opening up the habit for you. So that's what I think that was lacking, and we decided to create something very unique that would help humanity to really tap into that desire, and also is not just for beginners but also advanced, like how to go deeper, how to really tap into that state, deeper state.
Yeah, for sure. You know, the way I see it, at least it's coming up for me, this type of understanding is every physical manifestation has a portion of itself in the more ethereal realm. Let's say an earth, in simple terms, maybe has, let's say, apart from the physical matter, it has the what are they called, atmosphere. It has gravity. There are more subtle layers of the entity of it. And so humans have, yes, we have physical body, but we also have a more subtle version, like there are like a thinner layers of our own being, and so with sound is a very subtle thing, right? It's, yes, you could create a physical change with sound. There's so many, all kinds of experiments where, let's say, there's a water pouring, and then they turn certain vibration, and or like the plate of sand, and so the sound certainly has the physical manifestation, but it's a lot more subtle than you just like hammering something or like having a physical change.
You're just able to perceive sound as you perceive because of your senses.
Right.
So that sense, it's able to translate sound as limited as it can be.
Right.
But sound, it's much more than that. You have to think about sound as a frequency. And there's layers and levels of that frequency where your ears cannot translate.
Mm-hmm.
But that sound is able to lift a rock, to lift a car, to lift a building. Mm-hmm. It depends.
Tell me more. Like what?
I cannot tell you more because
that sounds like
I'm not PhD in that, but it's just what is coming through me.
Yeah. So it's basically like we don't fully understand how we think, for the most part, it's like this Newtonian world where if you drop an apple, it'll fall or something like that. But there are other methods of interacting with physical reality with technologies like vibrations, and not necessarily even sound. They're just frequencies that you are able to create, or like you're able to piggyback on the sound. And that's why, from my understanding, you often have to have two headphones to create the isolation, to create a third, basically, or like a...
Yeah, your brain does the third
Right,
connection.
right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so that third one, that's how we're able to perceive it. And we have fairly limited understanding of those types of frequencies and how they have an influence on this physical world.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of how it is? Or
Yeah, pretty much it.
yeah.
I mean, today it's a lot of information out there and
Mhm.
studies from scientists and everything. And we're pretty much going great directions right now of understanding more and more sound.